Unstuffed pepper skillet dinner. This one is so good. Let me show you how to make it. So we're gonna start with some oil in the bottom of the pan. I like to use avocado oil. You could also use olive oil, works great too, but I've been really on an avocado oil kick lately, and we're just gonna let that heat up for a while before we add in our beef. People always ask how I cut my onions like this, and it's really simple. I'll show you. You literally just slice it all the way around in small slices like this, and then when you go to flip it up, it's already pre-cut, and all you have to do is cut crossways, and then it's super easy to dice your onion that way. Plus it's kind of fun to watch, and it impresses people. Okay, now that our pan is heated up, we're gonna throw in our ground beef. It's been a day. Ellie woke up in the middle of the night, threw up everywhere. And then Jackson had a creativity award. So he had to stop everything, go to school, for him to stand up there and get an award for being creative. So now we need to drain out the grease, and this is what I like to do because I don't like to haul this heavy pan around and try and drain it. Also, sometimes the handle gets hot, so all you do is take a paper towel with some tongs, you're gonna lay it down in there, and then it's gonna soak the grease up so you don't have to manhandle the pan, which is so nice. And then I'm sure if you were super eco-friendly, you could like dry this out and use it as campfire starter or something, since it's full of grease. You don't have to get all the grease out. I like to leave a little bit because that's what we're going to use to saute the onions in, and then it makes them really tasty. So I'm just going to let a little bit of that grease go over to that side of the pan. We're going to take our diced up onions, toss it in there. That smells so good. Whenever Brian used to come home from work and I was just like literally sauteing vegetables in a pan, he'd be like, oh, that dinner smells so good. And I'd be like, it's literally just the vegetables. All I've done is put in the onion and garlic. But I mean, that's just the basics of dinner, right? You just need some yummy vegetables, and it makes the house smell so good. Okay, the onions are sauteing, so we will go ahead and start dicing up the bell peppers. So this is kind of like a deconstructed stuffed bell pepper, if you will. It's like the unstuffed pepper dinner, right? So basically what we're doing is just taking that same concept and sticking it into a pan that's kind of a deconstructed version. I like this better because sometimes just having whole bell peppers gets a little too bell peppery, if you know what I mean. So my bell peppers, I like to cut into thin little slivers, and then I will line them all up and chop them real small so you have nice little bits in every bite. Okay, adding in the garlic. Oops, that was a juicy one. Okay, so we're gonna add in our seasonings. I have a teaspoon of Italian seasonings. And no, I'm not gonna measure because when you've been cooking as long as I have, you know what a teaspoon looks like. And a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And then half a teaspoon of black pepper. I think fresh cracked black pepper is the way to go. And then we're gonna do a half a teaspoon of salt. Give that a stir so all those seasonings get around the pan. Yummy, that smells so good. Now we're gonna add in the bell pepper. Let that soften up in the pan a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna push this over, and now we are gonna put the dry rice in. This is uncooked dry rice, and we're just gonna toast it for a couple minutes on the bottom of the pan, and that's gonna help bring out some of the flavor of your rice. We are gonna add in 1 cup of beef stock. Beef broth. We're gonna do a can of diced tomatoes. You don't wanna drain this because you're gonna want that yummy tomato flavor in the sauce. And then we're gonna add in 1 jar of marinara sauce right into the top there. I'll try not to splash it all over my white shirt. I'm really good at doing that. And then we're gonna bring the heat up a little bit because we want this to come to a low boil before we stick the lid on it. So just starting to boil, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on, and then we're gonna turn this down to basically just above a simmer. Leave this for 15 to 18 minutes while that rice just cooks and softens right in the dinner. Gonna have to take a little bite and see if the rice is cooked. Yummy, but the rice does need a little bit longer. Okay.
Gosh, that smells good.
Gonna be hot.
Oh. Man, that's good.
So now we're just gonna top this with a little bit of cheese. I'm gonna use mozzarella today. Honestly, you could use any kind of cheese you like. Cheddar also works really well in this. Top it with a little bit of parsley, and you have a delicious dinner.